Welcome back. Actually, you were watching what I was watching, it's just that my Streamlabs OBS was playing up slightly, which it sometimes does. But also, that was a good idea to split the stream up into two parts because we can now concentrate on the Managersim part, which is what most of you want to see anyway. So, if you haven't watched the first part of today, then welcome. It'd be good if you go back to part one to see why we're looking at this stream at the moment. It will probably make more sense. But anyway, we'll go to Managersim now. So this is actually my PSG game at the moment because I was searching for some good players, and I'll tell you what I'm doing. But I'll go on to my just go into the game. Elfsborg, here they are. How's Elfsborg doing at the moment? They are doing pretty well. As you know, we're out of all the cups, but we are top of the table still after only 6 games. We have conceded a goal. I was originally going to do this well into the mid-season, but I thought I've got a free couple of minutes, and I thought I'd come back to you and tell you how they're getting on. We've had some transfer offers. Tabiz is now hopefully going to Atletico Madrid, so he's been very unhappy. Elkinson, you're staying put. We still haven't really bought any players, so Man United rescheduled. That's probably because they're in Europe. Hellberg injured. Hellberg, you don't sound familiar, are you? No, you're a youth player, okay, so I don't need to worry about you. A couple of friendlies withdrawn. I got manager of the month, which is a bit of a joke because there's only 2 human managers in this league, but that'll help your manager ratings a bit and boost your stats slightly, so that's always good. Good, he's agreed a new contract. Players fit from, and then injury success. This is when you put some of your physios to work on some of your injured players. So this is actually very good. It's actually shortened my star midfielder, shortened his injury by a week. He's still 8 weeks injured though. So again, always do a bit of housekeeping if you ever get the chance. You don't want your messages to pile up. Oh yeah, I've just realised I'm not on the right inlay screen for you. That's better. Bit more better. Now we're back to Elfsborg, what you're normally looking at. So there's the newspaper items. So Malmo, who's the other human side, they're going after a player, and they've got him. Yeah, he's 95 striker. Yeah, Malmo haven't had as good start as us, but they will get better. I think it's going to be Malmo and us, hopefully, who will occupy the 2 Champions League. Who's going to be your champions? I do not know. Because Malmo's manager, he is very good. Very, very good. I'll call him K. Oh, sorry, mate, I can never pronounce your name. I'm going to call you K today. K is very good. He's a very good manager. I know him very well from the previous Game Worlds. He's going to rival me. Or probably overtake me eventually. So there's a side at the moment. We've got 49 players, which is still a lot, but we are slowly getting rid of players. Tabiz is going, so Hay will probably be free transferred if I'm getting no bids. I need to look at see what changes I need to make for the side now, because we've got the next tick very soon is actually a league game. So I'm going to quickly go in and see if I can make any changes. We've had Bowman got injured as well. So our 2 star midfielders have both got injured. So we had to start putting some of the youngsters in. So this might affect our results. So Cuba, who was at one stage going to be listed, has now actually come back in. So I'm trying to look around. I'm giving a lot of the youngsters now a chance to shine. So a lot of the 16, 17-year-olds are getting their chance to, as you can see there, they're all on the bench. Like Strand could be a really good midfielder in the future. Actually, Strand might be, I know his stats are not as good as Olsen's, but his secondary stats are really good, so I'll give him the chance then. Let's give him the chance for the next league game. How's our defence? Defence is looking decent. Yeah, we've got a very good defence. Attackers, Elman's been given a chance because we've had oh, Balati's back. Damn. Okay. Kjellstrom, who's now becoming very good. One of the original players, of course, remember? Original star players. He doesn't even get onto the bench nowadays. But I'm going to keep him because he is a good squad player. So Balati's back. Oh, good, I noticed that. Striker-wise, Elkman is injured. So our star midfielder, our star striker are both injured. I need to put in some of these. So penalty will be... free kicks could be any really good midfielder. Captain, you really need someone with leadership skills. I got a very young side though. This is going to be difficult. Probably your next best player, which is Belschmier, or the goalie. Okay, hold on, I'll save that first, and then see if any of these two players have got player characteristics, because that's the next thing you need to look at. Barak is rebellious, so not exactly he's an international though, but he's not exactly a great captain if he's rebellious. Belschmier, stubborn. Oh god, they're just as bad. Obermann, you're over. So next thing you look out for a captain, if you haven't got a captain with any leadership skills, is anyone over a certain age, over 24, or an international. I've got a very young side, so the over 24 won't work here, because I got really... My goalie is over 24. Belschmier will be the next one because he's actually an international. Well, he was going to be an international, but he's actually a pretty good player. So yeah, if you haven't got any players who've got leadership skills, if you've got players in your leadership skills, put them as captain, even if they're under 21 years old, because at least that will give you a little bit of benefit. Your ideal player would be a captain over 24 with leadership skills. If you haven't got any of those, then the next thing is your next best player who's an international. So you can have a very young international, 17, 18, 19-year-old international. If they are, then put them as a captain because they've got international skills, which means they will be kind of like a leader. If you've got none of those, then you need to find all your players over 24 who've got non-rebellious, stubborn type skills. Even if they've got no skills, put them in, because if you put your captain as a stubborn or anything like that, then he won't be exactly ideal captain. So I'm in a not a very good position here because I've got none of those criteria. So next thing I need to look for is any player with any decent characteristics. Osman, he's got none, even though he is good. Obermann, he's a sweeper. Okay, not too bad. Cheba, defensive midfielder. Not really. Again, Chiba would have been international if the game featured rest of the world, because he's Japanese, but as it's only Europe, he's not counted. Askren, you're only 17, but he's a leader and he's an international, but he's only 17. Crikey, I've got 17 international. So, yeah, I'm going to put him as captain. Not ideal, because he's only 17, but it's better than nothing. So, the 17-year-old is actually going to be the captain. What a promotion for him. There you go. Well done. Okay, let's just check see if there's any others that could have been a captain. Strand, no. Belletti, you would have been a next choice because you've got no characteristics, but that means you've got no bad ones. Benzer, yeah, oh, you're a leader as well. Okay, so you could have been, oh, it's transfer listed. Oh, what did I transfer list? Oh, because I've got depth. Bookie would have been the next choice as captain, actually. Yeah, he definitely would be the next choice. I'll try and Bookie as a striker, remember, even though he's normally a midfielder. And how's he getting on as a striker? Yeah, he scored 1 goal already in 2 games as a striker. That's not bad. And Alman, yeah, not too bad, 17. It's a very young side. Ronenberg has been on the bench because he just hasn't been scoring goals. So, let's look about future players, and I'll give you some tips now. if you want to buy some players who are good but not on the transfer list, spend time looking at other sides who are not managed by a human, if you can. First, go through the big leagues, so England, Spain, France, Germany, Italy. Look at those ones first. If they're in bold, they're human. Humans can manage in that, which makes it even more, go to those countries. If they're greyed out, not so important. They're harder to find decent players. So the top 5, England, Spain, France, Germany, Italy. Then, after you're looking at them, look at Greece, Turkey, Portugal, Netherlands and Belgium, and maybe Russia, and also Sweden. After that, any other country in bold. When you've done that, start looking at the countries in grey. Obviously, it depends how much time you want to look for that player, and there's some certain criteria. So let's go to France, where I know very well from my previous game world. None of these managers are human. All these are computer managers, which gives you a good chance of grabbing that good player. The criteria you need first, though, before doing this, is your actual side needs to be a quite high level. So I'm only level 3, which it says here is average. So most of these players I might go for. If I was going for them, they probably would say, no, you're not big. You're not a bigger club. If I was a level 7, 8 side, then I would do this. So you go on to any side. I generally look at the lower ones first. So let's look at Le Havre. No human manager. First criteria, how many players has this side got? If it's got less than 24, 23 players, don't make a bid, because they automatically will say no because the squad size is too small. Here, though, it's 25 players, which means if you make a bid for one of these players, even if they're not listed, they might talk to you, they might not. Like, for instance, here, this guy here, I don't know how you pronounce that name. This guy here, he has got some amazing secondary stats. He's rated at 7 million. There's no release fee. So even if there was a release fee, you'll see it in there. But even if you put that in, they still can say no to you because of what level club you are. So there's no point me bidding for this player because I'm a level 3 side and he would not probably join us anyway. But if I was much higher level, I would have gone to approach to buy. And of course, it depends how much money you got as well, because you have to go a lot higher than this. So generally, if you put in, say, 3 times the bid, like 14 million or 21 million, then the club might talk to you. There's a lot of factors that they might not. It's quite random, I'm afraid. If this guy had a big club clause, you don't know at the moment, you'll never know until you make the bid, then that's more in your favour if you're a bigger club than Le Havre, because then the player might almost certainly talk to you. But as when you're bidding for a player who's not on the list, you don't know what their contract clauses are. So this guy might not be on big club clause. He might be on free relegation. He might not have any clauses. If he's on free relegation clause and you put in a bid for 14, 21 million or whatever, then you might not get him. If you put a bid in a 14, 21 million and it's a big club clause, there's a chance you will get him. There's a lot of factors in this, a lot of factors. But the big one you need to be a quite high level club to even start doing this. So if I were you, do not do this when you're level 1 to 5 at all. You also need to look at the other club's level. They're level 3 and we're level 3. So again, it's highly unlikely you'll get this player. If I was a level 7, level 8 side and I went for this player, then there's a chance I might get him because we're a bigger club. We're grabbing the players. But again, the criteria to start doing this tactic is, one, you need a lot of time to do this because you're going through every team that is not managed by a human. And when you find that team, if it's less than 24, 23 players, don't bother because they won't let him go anyway because the squad size is too small. 25 is good, 25 plus is good. And then the next criteria, make sure you got enough money to make a bid because you have to bid a lot more money than their value at. If you got any of these skill points up here, use them because that might save you a lot of time. For instance, let's say I went for this player. And I was going to use my points. I went back up to here. Oh wow, he's a really, really good player. He's a 10 and win titles. So if I was managing Liverpool or Man United or any higher, much higher level side, then I'll probably will come in and make a bid for him. I'll probably bid an initial bid of about 21 to 30 million, see if their club accepts that. If they don't, then you have to increase that bid. If they still don't, if you're putting something like now 50, 60 million for this player, again, this is why you need money, and they still say no, then don't bother. Put them in your shortlist. The shortlist is the I don't use the shortlist very often, to be honest with you, because it's just not used in this game at all. There's your little shortlist up there, the little icon there. So you click on that, and the hot list, sorry. There's your hot list button there. You press that button, and then he appears on your hot list. So that means you can go back and see what happens to him in the future. This is one thing that could be updated when the game evolves. The hot list will actually remind you that a player is now being transfer listed or free transfer or anything like that. But at the moment, it's pretty useless. It's not being used. But hopefully they will use it in the future. But again, the criteria again is if you want to go and find these players, and then you will find some bargain players which you can bid on. Is one, make sure you're on a much higher level than the club that you're trying to nab their player from. 2, make sure you have tons and tons of money because you need it. 3, you won't always get that player. 4, the other club, make sure they have 25 or less players. Sorry, the other way around. 25 or more players, because anything less than, say, 24, 23, they will say no anyway because the squad size is too small. And 5, don't be too surprised if you're bidding for that player, they accepted the bid, and a couple of ticks, the bid's still there, that suddenly it disappears. Sometimes the game engine does change its mind quite later on, which, yes, it is annoying, but it happens. But again, this tactic of trying to find that right player when you're a much level, another criteria, you need to be much level, I think I said that, much level, higher level side, is the bonuses of this is you might find that bargain player, someone who will never be transfer listed. Try computer AI sides first. So in France, for instance, they were all computer sides. Let's just try another one round. This is a level 4 side and you're level 3, so straight away you have no chance of getting a player anyway because they're much higher level than you anyway. So why would they want to go to a much lower level side? And for instance, this player here, Remy, amazing player, very good secondary stats. He's worth 20 million, so you have to put a starting bid of at least 65 million plus, and then you could go over well over 100 million to get this player. It's a game of chance, because even if you meet all that right criteria, you might get them, you might not. It's just how the game engine works. But anyway, let's go back to Elfsborg. So we're currently sitting top of the table. It's a very tight division. We've got quite a few league games to go. As you can see, I don't play that many friendlies. Our last league game was actually a win. Our 3-5-2 seems to be working, but that's when we lost our star striker though. Strand actually scored a goal. Oh, well done, Strand. And he's going to be playing in the next game, isn't he? Yes, he is. Oh, okay, well done, Strand. So hopefully he will develop. Again, you can press that assistant report once your own player, and it doesn't take any points away. He's a 9.4. Okay, he will do well in the future. No additional wonder stats like he will win new titles and stuff like that, which is a shame. He's a no future international, so he's a standard 9.4. You might get a player who's 8.9, for instance, who is a future international and wins titles. That means he's actually even though his rating's lower, 8.9 is lower than 9.4, he's actually a better player, if that makes sense, because he's got these win titles and he's a future international. But 9.4 standard is still really good. Remember, it goes from 0 to 10. The lowest I've ever seen, I think, is a 6.5. And that's it, really. So, hope you enjoy this bit of in-depth how to find that right player. Again, finding that right player who's not transfer listed is tricky. It is a little bit hard to explain, but if you meet that criteria, being a higher level, making sure you've got tons of money, when you're looking at the other club, make sure they have 25 or more players, and then start bidding like mad. But don't bid stupid money for these players, because it might hit your bank balance and you might get bankrupted. That's one thing you don't want in this game, is bankruptcy. When your economy figure starts going, as you can see, it's not going to hit us at all. Club capital starts going 0 or worse, you'll start getting board messages saying you're losing money. And if you don't start selling players quickly or reduce bills or anything, you'll get fired. You will lose your job. And the board are quite strict about that. They'll give you plenty of warnings so you know when it's going to happen. So just try not to let it happen. Anyway, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this episode. And again, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and the Mixer account, and you'll see more of these episodes. Hope you enjoy it. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.